There is something I've never told anyone. Barbara Valentin was there in Munich when Freddie Mercury started dying, and she saved his life a few times. They were very disturbing situations with Freddie when he just collapsed and fainted as the first signs of AIDS here in Munich. Barbara had the presence of mind and quickly went to get the doctor, while I just held him. We were very worried. He had horrible seizures, and Barbara took loving care of him. That was the absolute low point of our time here in Munich. These terrible blackouts, these seizures. When he woke up, often after 2 hours, he didn't remember a thing. But it didn't stop him from going out and partying again a few days later. It was like he was having a stroke. You have to imagine, for example, he was sitting at a table talking to someone, then suddenly he collapsed and was almost like that for a while. We were very worried because sometimes he would shake during the seizures. Nevertheless, Freddie refused to do the tests in the hospital as the doctor recommended, so no one could tell what the cause was at the time. So life here in Munich was not only a nice happy fairy tale. So he was often completely unconscious for 2 hours. Yes, and after that he didn't remember anything. He was like in a deep sleep. You could pinch him, but he wouldn't wake up. The doctor, of course, checked his blood pressure and so on. That was all okay again after he woke up. But since Freddie didn't allow any examinations in the hospitals, we had no idea at the time what really caused it. Today I'm quite sure that was the first warning of HIV/AIDS, the first signs of his deadly disease. But Freddie didn't want to admit it. That's why he refused any and all testing. You know what just struck me? Maybe Munich was the beginning of the end of his life. Why the breakdowns you just told me about and that he couldn't remember afterwards. That was the beginning of the end, when the dying began. Oh yes, and he was diagnosed with AIDS in 1987. No one knew if he had 6 weeks, 6 months or 6 years left. All we knew was that the end would come sooner rather than later. So Freddie had to prepare for death. But he also wanted to fight and not surrender to the disease. He was the only one who knew what it was like inside. He controlled everything to the end. He decided to stop the medications. He stopped eating. He knew when to say goodbye. In a way, Freddie never grew up and always remained a little boy. But he was the sweetest little boy I had the privilege of meeting.